All right, in this module, we're gonna cover the actual tire dismount and mount machine. So the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is release the actual valve stem out of the wheel so we can get all the air out of the tire. Now this one has already been deflated for ease of this video to speed up this process. However, the first step that you have to do is pull the valve core out of this stem so you can release all of that pressure. So usually it takes a couple of minutes, maybe a minute. I don't want to wait for that. Next, we're going to bring it over to this little paddle on the side. This is actually going to dismount the bead of the tire from the rim. By using the one in the middle here, we're going to press down. We're going to let the machine actually pull it in, and you can see it separate. Now, not every tire you're going to be able to pop it off in one shot. You typically have to rotate this around. Good rule of thumb is about 60 degrees. Pop it again. One last one. You need to be very careful as well for the placement of where your actual valve stem is when you're using this tool, because if there's a sensor behind it on a 2008 or newer vehicle, you're going to damage it. And now you own a $100 sensor or 60 bucks or whatever it costs. I don't care. Pop, turn around, do the other side. Keep in mind you have to do both. Rotate. Alright, so once you have both sides dismounted, you're going to flop it up on top on the pedestal. Get it mounted. Now there's two ways that the teeth on the bottom of this pedestal can actually grab the wheel. Sometimes you can grab it physically on the outside of the rim once you dismount this tire, or you can clamp it on the inside. Whichever you feel is going to hold best for you. If the wheel starts to bind or slide as you're operating it, then obviously you have it mounted wrong. You need to redo something there. Next, we're going to use the arm on the right. And we're going to mate this duckbill up to the actual rim. Now they make two versions of this duckbill. One is a metal one for steel wheels, which is what we're operating here. And then there is a hard plastic one for your aftermarket wheels so you don't damage them, because a metal one will absolutely scratch your aftermarket or painted wheels. Okay? When you go to use the actual tire spoon to get the tire off of the rim, you want to make sure that you're using the curved end here to where you can actually hook around that bead, and you're going to use levers to simply pry it up. So if you notice on the duckbill itself, there is a spot specifically for this tool. So we're going to get on the bead of the tire, we're going to hook it around like so. I'm going to come over here for ease of leverage, and I'm just simply going to pry. Once you do that, rotate your tire around, just enough to get your tool out. Let it finish going all the way around. You also need to be very cautious as far as where your valve stem is in this. You want to make sure you're always protecting your valve stem, because again, if there's a sensor behind it, you're going to have problems. Now I'm going to lift the entire tire up to the wheel, because I want to create a gap on this side to where I can now get the bottom side bead up off this top. So I'm going to pull it all the way up, and if you notice, I'm literally rocking it all the way to this side, so I have this nice big gap here. I'm going to hook in, get all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to get pressure up against this tire, and I'm going to lift the whole tire up and pry it down. Now I have this nice separation on the bottom. I can rotate around, and it's going to allow the entire tire to be able to walk right off. Once your tire is off, release your spring. Voila. Your tire has been dismounted. Now all we got to do is put a new one on.